And we're back. All right, last time around we talked about graphing compound inequalities. And that's great as long as I know what the value of x is. It's in between two numbers or it's greater than one number and less than another. That's all good. But how do I get to that value where it's just x is less than or equal to blah, blah, blah? Well, the only way to do that is to solve. And so we're going to do this. We're going to solve compound inequalities, but I'm going to go ahead and use this homework assignment in Alex as our practice. All right. So if I go here and I hit preview, it opens up this window eventually. And you see this homework has 5 questions. I want to start. And all 5 of these are either going to be the situation where it looks kind of like this, where the X piece is in between 2 other pieces, right? I'm saying that this X piece right here is in between one thing over here and one thing over here. When you have that kind of situation, if you remember from the other videos, we're talking about an AND situation. Let me see if I can make that a little smaller. Okay, maybe I'll make that bigger. If I move on, and let's just say I click here, see what the next one, all 5 of these are going to be similar. Notice that here I have an OR situation. All right, you see there's a word OR right there. If I use red this time, I'll show you that this one has an OR on it. Now, in both cases, what I'm going to do is actually just solve, and then I'll end up with some X's, and then I'll graph it on here. So let me go back to this one. See if it's let me erase it now. It doesn't. What is this? Okay. It does not. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this over here, this space over here, just to write this. Now, when it's AND, I want us to see that it's 2 scenarios. It is this scenario. So it's 2x plus 3 is greater than -9. It is also, at the same time, that's why I said and, this scenario. That same 2x plus 3 is also less than or equal to 11. So it's really solving 2 of them. All right, let's do them both really quickly here. It says -9, is less than 2x plus 3. That's one thing. And at the same time, it is 2x plus 3 is less than or equal to 11. I know that's kind of rough writing here. Bear with me. I don't have a stylus. I'm using my cursor. So I can solve each of these things. Let me go ahead and solve that. This one, let me subtract 3 from both sides. That gives me -12 over here. I'm talking about -9 minus 3. This sign stays the same because all I did was subtract. Since that's gone, I have 2x. Trying to solve this thing for x, so let me divide this side by 2 and also this side by 2. I'm dividing by a positive number, so I don't change the sign. That goes away. X will equal -6. I'm sorry, not equal. X will be greater than -6, so that's one thing. Let me go over here and solve this one as well. Similar process. Let me subtract 3 from both sides. So that 2x, that cancels out. I just subtracted 3, so I don't have to worry about changing the sign. And 11 minus 3 is 8. Divide both sides by 2. Divide both sides by 2. Then that thing goes away, and x will be less than or equal to 4. I divided by a positive number, so I don't change the sign. So I am saying that x is greater than -6 and x is less than 4. So I'm concerned about this -6. So for my case here, I'm going to, before, and I showed you this before when we graph, I like to kind of draw on the graph first and then shade what I need to shade. Couple of things. So first, I'm looking at x equals -6. And at that spot, it's going to be an open circle. So at -6, I'll put an open circle. I'm also concerned about x being less than or equal to 4. That less than or equal to piece right there tells me it should be a solid dot. So I'm going to go to 4 on that one. All right. Now, again, before I do that, since it's an and, I need to know where they are both shaded. So if my x's are greater than -6, that means I'm just going to do this up here. I'm talking about all of these right here, going this way forever. And at the same time, x is less than or equal to 4. So I'll have this dotted, or this dot like I have, and I'm talking about all of these values. The question really is, where do these things meet? Where are they both? Because it says and that's right here, and then everything in between. So when it comes down to shading, and I'll use my little piece here, I'm looking for the piece right in between. Select that. Let's check it. Maybe move. And we're good. So that's how you do it with an and. This is a long video, so I'm going to pause and then I'm going to restart and I'll do the or. All right, and we're done.